For 0.3, we're going to be evaluating expressions. Remember, expressions don't have an equal sign on them. And evaluate normally means find the answer, substitute, and then find the answer. But when the question asks for you to evaluate, you normally get a numeric answer. Okay, so take a minute to copy example 1 and 2. Okay, for example 1, it says evaluate x plus 10 for x equals 13. So the first step is I'm going to substitute. So it tells me that x is 13. So where the x is, I'm going to rewrite it as 13. So instead of writing x, I'm going to write 13. And then I'm going to bring down the plus and the 10, the same. So x plus 10 is really 13 plus 10. This is the substitution step. You must show the substitution step. Okay, now to evaluate it, 13 plus 10 is just 23. Okay, but do make sure you show the substitution step and then evaluate the answer. Let's try the next one. Next one says 28 minus 5m for m equals 3. So it tells me where m is, I'm going to substitute 3. So here's m right here. Okay, so the 28, I'm going to bring down the same. The minus, I will bring down the same. And the 5, I will bring down the same. But where there's an m, I'm going to substitute 3. If I just write 3, it looks like 53. This is really saying 5 times 3. So I'm going to put parentheses on the 3 so it doesn't look like 53. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and evaluate my answer. Based on order of operations, I do need to do the multiplication before I do the subtraction. So 5 times 3 is 15. So 28 minus 15 is 13. And that's my final answer. Okay, go ahead and copy example 3. Pause if you need to. For example 3, it says x squared plus 5x minus 11. 4x equals 4. So I know that everywhere I see an x, I'm going to substitute in 4. Okay, so I see x here, and I see an x here. So both locations I need to substitute 4. Okay, where the x is, I'm going to put a little 4 here. Okay, I put it in parentheses, although it doesn't matter because it's a positive number with an exponent. I'm going to keep the little exponent here, plus 5. Where the x is, I'm going to substitute 4, but again, I don't want 54. I want 5 times 4. And I will bring down the minus 11. Make sure you don't miss any of the terms, and make sure you show the substitution step. Okay, now I'm going to evaluate it. 4 to the second power is really saying 4 times 4. That's 16, plus 5 times 4 is 20. And I'll bring down the minus 11. If you can add and subtract this all in your head, that's fine. I'm going to go from left to right. If you do it differently, just make sure we're getting the same answers. Let's see, 16 plus 20 is 36 minus 11. 36 minus 11 is 25. Okay, if you haven't copied example 4, copy example 4. I'm going to throw in 2 variables on this one. Okay, so for example 4, I'm telling you that x is 3 and y is 2. So everywhere I see x, which is here and here, I'm going to plug in 3. Everywhere I see y, I'm going to substitute 2. So this is going to get a little crazy. Okay, so first I'm going to bring down that 2 in the front because that's just 2. Okay, where I see x, I change it to a 3. I put it in parentheses because I'm substituting it. I'm going to keep the exponent there, the plus sign. Keep the 5. Where the x is, I substitute 3. I'm going to put it in parentheses. Where the y is, I substitute 2, and I also put that in parentheses. Otherwise, I would have 532, which is not correct. Okay, plus. Where the y is, I put 2. I like to put it in parentheses because it will make a difference when we have more negatives. I'll bring down the exponent. Okay, that's the substitution step. You must show the substitution step. Now the next big challenge on this is we must follow order of operations. Okay, so on order of operations, PEMDAS, as you may have heard of it, I need to do anything in the parentheses first. There's just numbers in the parentheses. So the next thing I need to do is exponents. Okay, I see an exponent here. I'm going to evaluate that exponent first. I'm going to leave the 2 alone. So the 2 is going to stay here. And if I do 3 to the second power, that's 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. If you want to multiply this part out now, you can. I'm going to save it for the next step, but you could do it now because it's not touching any of the exponents. Okay, now I have another exponent over here. So 2 to the second power is 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, I finished all the exponents, so PEMDAS, I'm going to multiply or divide next. Yeah, I see lots of multiplication. Let's see, 2 times 9 is 18, plus, this is 5 times 3 times 2. I'm going to multiply all 3 numbers, and the order doesn't matter. So if I do 5 times 3, I get 15. 15 times 2 is 30. So it should be 30. But if I wanted to go in a different order, it would still be correct. If I do 2 times 3, I get 6. 6 times 5 still gives me 30. So sometimes you might want to multiply them out of order. You'll get the same answer, and it'll make it a little easier. I'll bring down the plus 4. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and add all these values up. So let's see, what is 18 plus 30 is 48, and then 48 plus 4 is 52. So once I evaluate, I get a final answer that is numeric. Okay, these are the last 2 examples because you know I love fractions and because we don't mind fractions. All they are divisions. Okay, so they give me that n is 4. So I can already tell that here and here I'm going to make a substitution, and I'm going to keep everything else the same even though it's a little bit crazy. So on the top of this fraction I'm going to put a 4, but the rest of the fraction is going to stay the same. Bring down the plus. The 20's good, the line's good, but in the denominator I've got to put the 4. Okay, that's the substitution step. You must show the substitution step. Okay, before you freak out because we hate fractions, if we look at these fractions, if they will divide, then I can get rid of the fractions very quickly. So for the first fraction, let's see, 4 divided by 2, well, that's just 2. Perfect, just 2. Okay, let's look at the next fraction, because if it will divide, and I always check first, I will do so. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I really just have 2 plus 5. Well, what's 2 plus 5? 7. Done. Okay, it looks crazy, but at the end it turned out to be nice. Okay, one last example. If you haven't copied example 6, pause and copy example 6. And yes, this one looks crazy. It is a little bit crazy because the last one's got to be a challenge. Okay, let's see. I gave you that x is 7. So where are the x's? There's an x here and an x here. So 2 locations I'm going to substitute x. What else did they tell me? They tell me that y is 6. So where's the y's? I have a y here and a y here. So 2 substitutions. Everything else in the expression will stay exactly the same. Okay, so let me start. I just go from left to right so I don't miss anything. So on the top of the first fraction, I have a 2. Okay, where I see the x, I need to substitute in the 7, and I put it in parentheses. Okay, I'm going to bring down the plus, and then the y. Oh, not y. What am I substituting for y? Y equals 6. Okay, that was on a big fraction, and it had a 4 at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, now there's another fraction. Okay, on the top of the numerator of this fraction, I have an x. What is x? X is 7. And in the denominator, it says y. What is y? Equals 6. And then the minus stays the same, and the 5 stays the same. This is the substitution step. This step must be shown on your work for full credit. Okay, let's see. From here, I need to start evaluating. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, where I see a fraction, each part of the fraction is like parentheses. So I need to figure out the answer to the numerator here. This one's already good. This one's good, but I do need the answer for here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of work with each of the parts of the fraction. Let's see, on the numerator here, 2 times 7 is 14. I'll bring down the plus and the 6, and I'll keep it over 4. Okay, it's getting a little better. Minus, I still have the 7 at the top. Okay, on the bottom, I have 6 minus 5. What is 6 minus 5? That's 1. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, I'm going to keep going because the numerator of the first fraction, I can keep going on that. What is 14 plus 6? 14 plus 6 is 20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and keep the rest the same. Minus. Okay, now I see fractions. I'm not going to freak out. First, I'm going to see if I can divide them. And see, does 20 divide by 4? 20 divided by 4 is 5. That's okay. Minus, what's 7 divided by 1? That's just 7. So now I have 5 minus 7. I know 7 minus 5 is 2. So 5 minus 7 is actually going to be negative 2.